guys. Welcome to You the Boss podcast, episode 41. I'm your host, Pam, and today we're going to be talking about daily habits for a positive life. I want to start off by defining what the word habit means. As per Google, a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. In other words, it's something that you do almost without thinking or realizing that you're doing it. Like first thing in the morning, if you grab your phone and you text someone good morning, or you check your email, or you go to social media, or you get up and go brush your teeth and use the bathroom. Maybe you have a habit of, instead of taking your coffee to go in the morning, you like to drink it while you're getting ready, or you like to sit and have it. Habits become a part of us and our routines. Everyone has routines. Everyone has habits. If someone tells you they don't have a routine or that they don't like routines, just ask them to run their day-to-day to you. Ask them what they do every single day when they get up in the morning, or ask them what time do they have lunch or what time do they go to bed. I can guarantee you that in some fashion, they have a routine, they have a habit. Everything that we do every single day is what shapes our life. In the example of brushing your teeth, if you get up in the morning and brush your teeth every night, you're probably light years ahead in oral health than a lot of people. If you floss after every meal, that puts you in another step. That's another habit that shapes your oral health. Everything that you do today and tomorrow and the day after is what forms our weeks, it forms our months, our years, it forms our life. Your habits are what builds everything around you. So for this episode, I want to give you 10 habits that I have learned from, people that are successful, or just things that I've read, things that have worked for me, that have very much shown up for me in this phase of my life, being postpartum and just all these different things happening. Number one is skincare. I know that you're probably thinking, oh, another skincare plug. No, I'm not sure that everyone needs a 10-step regimen, but for me, a couple of steps, morning and night, it does it for me. Sometimes I'll throw a little treatment in there, but it's definitely a cleanse, tone, moisturize. Very simple. It makes me feel good. It sets the tone for the day. It helps me relax at night. But definitely, that's one of my habits. I do my skincare every single day. Number two, vitamins and supplements. I'm here to tell you that our food, if you didn't know, our food here in the U.S. does not carry the nutrients that we need. So especially through the pandemic, I've just added a couple of things to my multivitamin to keep my regimen going, to keep my energy up, to keep myself healthy as much as possible. It's like a multivitamin, vitamin D, calcium, and a digestive capsule, and some like omegas in there. Nothing too intense, just literally something to be good to myself and to keep myself on a nutritious track. Number three, I've made it a point to not wear anything I don't feel good in. And I know that this sounds silly to some people, but especially as a postpartum mom, or even just as a woman, like honestly, taking the mom part out of it, I don't want to wear anything that when it comes time to wear it in my closet, I'm like, ugh, but I don't feel great in that. It's too tight. It wrinkles too easily. I don't like the color. It's cheap looking. I've literally started to practice that if I put it on and I'm already thinking, oh, I should change, I'm going to donate it. I have to donate it because if I'm not feeling good in it, if I don't feel like I could, the rule that I always say to my husband is, are you going to be comfortable meeting a millionaire in that? And if the answer is no, I can't wear it anymore. If I don't feel good, I can't show up as my best self. Number 4, reading 10 to 15 minutes a day. I know that in this day and age, it's so hard to have a physical book. We are so attached to our digital devices. Or maybe you're the kind of person that says, Pam, I can't sit and read. I can only do Audible. I can only do audiobooks. 10 or 15 minutes a day of reading, I can't do it. I don't have the time. I can promise you, yes, you do. I can promise you that the screen time on your phone or your TV or your laptop or your iPad or your Netflix, Hulu, whatever, I know that it'll tell me that you have 10 or 15 minutes to read every single day. And maybe you don't want to read something that's going to teach you or give you self-development, which personally is my vice. That is a choice that I make. But what are you reading that isn't gossip or the news? How about that? Read something every single day that for 10 to 15 minutes, that isn't gossip, that isn't the news. Maybe it's a story, maybe it's just a good novel, but I've made it a point to continue reading. On the note of reading, number 5, I've made it a point to learn something every day. Even if it's something small. I look every single day to learn something that I can bring up in a conversation with a friend and be like, oh, hey, did you know XYZ? Like earlier, I was looking up different cruises and I was looking at different locations and different ports and things like that. And I was, just going on a dreaming expedition. And I found a location that is in Honduras, that is near the coast of Mexico, that is absolutely stunning. And I would have never even seen that had I not looked into cruises, because I've never been on a cruise and I was like going through that. So make it a point to learn something new every single day and share it with someone. Number 6, set goals. Heads up, control freaks. We can't control everything. And I'm speaking to me. I'm doing my best, but sometimes it's hard for me to feel like I'm not in control. But if you set a goal of completing just 2 or 3 things every day, not 7 or 8, not the long to-do list that, is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. An example of those 2 to 3 things is like, for me, I set a goal to do a load of laundry every single day. Write and record an episode. Maybe not every single day, but definitely once a week. And make dinner instead of ordering out. That's a successful day for me. Again, that's my current phase of life. It's currently where I'm at. This might look different for you. But the point is for you to set daily goals, 2 to 3 things that you can absolutely control. No matter what happens, no matter how the day goes, what happens at work, what happens, with the witching hour for anyone with small kids, or you as an entrepreneur, as long as you do those 2 to 3 things that you set yourself for the day, it's a consistent habit. Number 7, use Do Not Disturb. The truth is, our phones are distracting. All of our devices at this point, you can link to some fashion or another that it'll send you a notification for an email, a phone call, a FaceTime call, a video call, a message, a this, or that. We can't control the fact that the world is so connected and disconnected at the same time. So be intentional about your Do Not Disturb. For me, my alarm goes off at 10 p.m. every night. And my phone goes into sleep mode. And unless you're on my favorites, which are like my siblings, my husband, and a few friends. If you call me after 10 p.m., I'm not going to see it. And unless I look at my phone or unless I see it the following morning, I won't see it. If I'm driving, I won't see your text. I use Do Not Disturb. Between the hours of 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., I have a focus option that, again, unless you're on my favorites, unless it's an emergency, your call's going to go to voicemail and I will not get it. The notifications on my Instagram, Facebook, and my TikTok, they're not on. I only see the notification when I go into the app. Unless I'm expecting a message, I won't see it. I use my Do Not Disturb. I use my notifications being off very often because it honestly overstimulates me and I can't be at everyone's beck and call at all times. And this is not a now thing. This has been a very long time. So definitely use the smartphone to help you, not to hurt you. Number 8, get into the habit of setting timers. This habit is a little bit new for me. It's actually something that I speak to one of my best friends. And she always says that she sets like a timer for herself to see how long it takes her to do something. So like for her, I know it's going to sound funny, but bear with me. For her, it's how quickly can she clean the bathroom? You know, is it going to take her 30 minutes to do the deep clean? Is it going to take her an hour? So she can gauge her time. So she sets a timer for herself. For me, I like to work backwards. So I'll set a 20-minute timer and say, I have 20 minutes to do this task. And a lot of the time, the task that I'm setting a timer for is something that is tedious, that I've been putting off, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I set the 20-minute timer and I'm like, I'm going to do this task in these 20 minutes. I might not finish it in the 20 minutes, but I want to move the task along. So I actually did it today. I needed to wash bottles, pump parts, and clean off my counter. And it was daunting because there was dishes in the sink and I needed to unload the dishwasher. It was a lot. So I set a 20-minute timer and I moved. I put a quick podcast on, 20 minutes. Things were washed, drying, put away, clean counter. I think that habit makes you move fast. It makes you move efficiently. And it gets things done. Number 9, relationships. Now I know that you're probably like, how do you make a relationship a habit? So presently in this season of my life, well, I can't even say that it's this current season of my life. I have to say, over the last 4 years, through the pandemic, through this time of like uncertainty and everyone's going at 100 miles an hour in 80 different directions, I've made it a point to continue to work on the different relationships in my life. I have different relationships with different people that are in different places in their lives. And so I make it a point to check in. Maybe not every single day with every single relationship because that's just not practical. But every day, maybe I haven't spoken to someone in a little bit, I'll send them a message and say, hey, I was thinking of you. How's it going? Or maybe last week a friend of mine told me they weren't feeling well, so I'll reach out and say, hey, how are you feeling? Or maybe I realize I haven't spoken to my brothers, who I specifically try to talk to every couple of days because I've been nurturing this relationship with them. So I try to hit them up and say, hey guys, how's it going? I try to do that every single day at some in one place or another. We're relational beings. We crave connection. And so I've made it a conscious effort and a conscious habit to every day continue to build a relationship I already have. And every day try to maybe make a different relationship, maybe make a new one, whether that's online or suggesting to meet with someone to continue that human interaction and continue growing relationships. And number 10, this one is one that I've talked about very much here on this podcast, but also just one that I do talk about a lot, and that's give yourself grace every single day. Every day is not perfect. Everything is not perfect. That is not life. It is messy. And things don't always go as planned. Sometimes you just have a rough day. You know, you might have woken up late. You missed an appointment. You missed a call. You forgot to do something that really needed to be done. And now you dropped the ball. And give yourself grace. Make it a habit to be graceful to yourself. Hold yourself accountable, yes. Make sure that you are righting your wrongs, but give yourself grace. Focus on what you can control, and the rest of it, give yourself grace. I want to leave you guys with one thing. Maybe 10 habits is too much. Maybe setting a timer isn't for you, or you can't use the do not disturb option on your phone because of your job, or you're on call constantly, or you're a caretaker. That's okay. How about you take one of the habits that I've mentioned, because there's 10 of them, and try it for 30 days. Message me if you do, and tell me about your experience. Thank you for listening. Come back again next week for another episode of You the Boss podcast.